Afternoon. Am I audible to you guys?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So in last lab class, we saw programs for binary search. Then I asked you guys to do the linear search, and most of you have just submitted. It's fine. So we also learned about sorting. Okay. So in today's class, I'm going to mix up both sorting and functions. So the main purpose is that I want to show you that one program you can just write in just normal way how we write, and same program you can also write with the help of functions. So we will see both types, like function uh, passing by value and function call passing by reference. Okay. So first let's start with the bubble sort. Let me share screen first. So I hope you can see the screen here. So this is a very simple program for your bubble sort. So what's the main concept of bubble sort? You just compare the elements one by one. Means you compare first element with the adjacent element, then you check whether values are greater than or not, whether they are sorted or not. If yes, you just swap the value. Today, I have shown you that whenever you want to swap a value, you always need to use a temporary variable. Not always, you can also do it like without using temporary variable, but in normal way, in basic way, you have to use a temporary variable to store a particular value whenever you want to swap two values. Okay, so in this program, what's happening? Normal function, I'm just taking an array, sorting, there will be lots of values, and size I have taken 100. That means maximum 100 values I can store in that array. Next, n is for the user, means I'm going to ask user how many numbers you want to enter or want to sort. Then ij value will be needed for our loops. We are going to compare two values at a time, right? That means one loop will be used to keep track of the elements from the first element, and second loop will be used to keep track of the elements from the second element. Okay, so first is just simple, ask user, enter number of the elements, then you store it, then you print, ask the user what are the values they want to store. So after that, the main thing is happening here. So in first for loop, what is happening? I less than n minus 1, this is just common. If there are n number of elements, then index will go up to n minus 1. Second is that you are going to compare first element with the second element, right? So j will start from 0, but j will only continue by n minus 1. That means in the first loop, if you are checking up to last number, then in this case, you will just continue just one less number, right? If there are n number of elements, then comparison will be n minus 1. So what's happening here? If array j, and remember in bubble sort, the highest element will be placed at the last element in first pass. Then in second pass, you will again start the same process. Then in second pass, the second highest element will be placed in the second last position. Correct? I hope you guys remember the concept of bubble sort. So here first it's checking whether the first value is greater than the next value. So if index is j, then the next value will be j plus 1, correct? So if array is like first element 0, then the second element will be 0 plus 1, which is 1. So if again you are comparing the second element, for example, array index is 1, then it is comparing the j plus 1, which is 1 plus 1, 2. Okay. So if that element is just 2 minutes. So after comparing the value, you are just keeping the value of the element into your temporary variable swap. Okay. In the morning program, I use temp. You can use any name. It's up to you. Just that it is a temporary variable. So I'm just keeping the value of j into swap. Then if the condition satisfies, then I'm keeping j plus 1 value of the second index into the first element. Okay, then again keeping the swapping value into j plus 1. Okay, done. After that, you just need to print the element. Rest is just same. The swapping portion is done here. So after first pass, everything will be over. I value will be 1. Okay, so here first time the 1 value is just compare. In the second time it will go to the index will go to the second position. That would be a little bit Kaushik. Okay. So if I run this program, okay, network is slow. Okay, enter the number of elements, for example, 5. So I entered 5 numbers. I just enter 3, 55, 12, 77, 23. Okay, so sorted list is 3, 7, 12, 23, and 55. Okay, so it's just the simple one. This loop is used for your pass 1, pass 2, pass 3, and so on. And this is going to compare for the inner loop. So once the biggest element gets to the last position, then it will be pass 2. The control will go back to the outer for loop. Then pass 2 will begin, then same process will be done and values will be swapped. Okay, so this is the simple way of writing bubble sort. Now same program you can write with the help of functions. Just directly write the function. Okay. Okay. I'll share all the programs, don't worry. So this is a program with the help of functions. So see what's happening here. This is a function declaration. I'll show all the aspects. Okay. So what's happening here? So you are defining a function, and name of the function is bubble sort. The arguments for this particular function is int array. That means you are going to take an input array, and n will just give you the number of elements in that array. Okay, so two arguments you have passed to your function bubble sort, and the return type of this function is null. That means void. There is no return type. Okay, so what's happening in this bubble sort portion? It's just normal. Remember, in the normal function, whatever swapping process you did, like with for loops, same thing is inside here. You are basically doing the same thing for I, j, and all. Temporary variable, you are just swapping the elements here. Okay, so after this, you will just print sorted array this. Okay, so now you come to the part int main. This is your main driving program. Int main is your main program. Okay, so here you are just doing again asking the user to enter the numbers to be sorted. Size is just 100, step and temp. Okay, so here you are just taking how many numbers you just want to sort, how many what are the elements you want to store, and finally calling the function bubble sort. See, so this is your call by value. Here you are directly using the variable. Okay, this is your call by value. Why? Because you are directly using the variables you have declared inside your main function. Okay, so here also you mention array int n. Inside the main function also you kept the name same, array and n, and you just pass the values. So if you run this program, so function is just same, asking how many numbers you want to sort. Let's say 5, enter number 1, 3, 12, 6, 34. Okay, so sorted array is 3, 12, 25, 35, and 6, 7, 8. Okay, so got it? The same program you can write either in the same normal way how we do, or you can simply use a function, and whatever swapping process you did in the first program inside the main function, you just separated that part inside your bubble sort function. Okay, so you can also say whenever you want to use a sorting method, suppose I'm asking you voice to okay, তোমার নেটওয়ার্ক বেয়া চাগে. So for suppose, remember in binary search, the elements should be always sorted. Okay, so if I'm asking you to use binary search in an unsorted array, then you can simply use this function. Okay, you can simply use this function. Then whatever program you have for binary search, in that very particular function or program, you can just call this function bubble sort. Okay, after sorting the array, you can apply your binary search. Okay, so function provides you modularity. Okay, it is more readable form, and it also modular that you can just write a function and you can use that function anywhere. Okay, so this is your function definition. Okay, remember For the functions, I told you there are three things. One is function declaration. If you notice, you can see there is no function declaration here. I have directly written the function definition, right? You know why? Because I have written the function I'm going to use in the main function before writing the in main. It is more like a global here. Okay, that's why there is no declaration involved. Okay, now see, if you just cut paste this portion and right after your in main function, run it, see, you will get error. Why you are getting error? Because in this case, you are writing your bubble sort, you are defining the bubble sort function after the int function. In this case, you have to declare your function first. That means first you need to declare the function like this. You have to globally declare the function that inside the main function, I am going to use this particular function. So after writing the in function, you have written your function definition. So now you run the program. So it's just same. See, it's sorted. So got the difference? When you need function declaration, when you need definition, if you define your function before in main function, then declaration is not needed. If you write your function after in function, then you have to declare your function. This is declaration, or you can also say function prototype. Okay. And here inside the main function, this is your function call by value, because you are simply passing the value to your calling function. Clear the difference? Sorting. So in this method, I have shown you how you can do bubble sort, how you can write a program in simple way right inside your main function, and how you can use programs, and also how you can pass the value to your calling function, what is the difference, and when to declare the function, when to define the function. Difference বুঝি পালা? When you want declaration, you have to declare it when you define your function after the in main function. If you define your function before in main, then you don't need to declare it. বুঝি পাইছা সবে? Could you follow the difference? Your network might be a bit slow. Repeat the difference. Okay. See, this is your function declaration. This is your function calling. Okay, call the function bubble sort. And this is your function definition. Okay. So if you define your function after the in function, then declaration or function prototype is important. Okay. If you define the function after in main function, then declaration is important. Okay. But if you define your function before your main function, then do not declare it. You can directly write the function definition part. Okay. Got the difference? If you define your function before main function, then declaration part is not needed. It's not required. You can directly call the function inside your main function if you define the function beforehand. And if you define your function after main function, then you have to globally declare the function. Okay, got it? Everyone clear? You can also check if you still define it, are we going to get a error? No, we will not get an error. Even if you declare it, then you define, you are not going to get an error. But the thing is, it is not required. Okay, even if you don't declare, it will still run. But if you write this definition part after in main, then without declaration, you cannot run the program. Okay, but in this case, if you define the function before main function, declaration step is not important. Without declaration also, you will not get an error. You can simply run the program. Okay, বুজি পাইছা? So this is the example of call by value. You are passing the value to your function. Okay. So this is your bubble sort. So let's see the program with the selection sort. So for selection sort, your task will be to find the normal one. What happens in selection sort? We basically select the minimum number in the array first and keep it in the unsorted array. So it is like opposite of your bubble sort, but the main thing is that you need to find the minimum element first and put it in the first position. Then find second minimum value, then put it in the second position, and so on. So both of the programs involve your swapping. Okay. So this is for your net table. Okay. So this is the program for your selection sort. See, I told you this is basically almost same. Swapping is involved. Okay. And in this program, again, I have defined a function. So no need to declare it. So this portion is, this is an example of call by reference. Okay. So Okay, I just wrote half of the program. So inside the, okay, let's just go one by one. So in the first portion, I'm just defining a function to swap the values of two elements. So here I'm using pointer. Pointer means it just giving you the location. Okay, so pointer A means it will give you the value located at that particular place. Next is the function for selection sort. So here what I'm doing, it's simply taking an array and second argument is the size. Okay, you can keep it n, up to you, whatever name you want to give, it's up to you. So here the second variable is size. So two arguments, one is the array and one is the size, and return type is same, no return type, so it's false. Okay, so here as well two for loops are maintained. One for loop will just keep track of the first element of or the unsorted array, and the second part will just find the minimum element. So just step is 0, then step will be means you can put it ij, anything you want. The name variable names are totally up to you. Okay, size minus 1, then step plus plus, then it will check the second element. Okay, then it's just the loop. Then it is checking whether the first element is less than minimum. So it's just a normal program to find the minimum value. Remember, I already asked you guys to find the smallest element, largest element in between two elements. So it is more like finding smallest and largest element in an array. Okay, it's a very common program to find smallest or largest element in an array. So it just basically same thing. So if it find a minimum position, find a minimum value, it will just swap. See, this is your call by reference. Example. Here you are calling the function void. Okay. So inside this function, you have passed the address of the variable, not the variable itself. Okay, so this is the example of call by reference. In the swap you use pointers. Okay, pointers means basically it will just give you the location. It will point to a value at a particular location, and whenever you give ampersand symbol, that means it is giving you the address of the value. It's just like the scanf. In scanf what we do, when you want to when user enters a value, you just store it somewhere, right? Then you again process that element. So we always write the ampersand. That means is you are just giving the address to your program. So same thing, you are telling the address of the minimum value. Okay, and the next step. So this is the example of call by reference. Then here you have written another function just to print the array. So it is just a simple printing one. Okay. So it will just take the array and will print the array. So main function is just here. Okay. So inside the main function, it has already given the elements here. Means already fixed array is given. This is an array and the array contains 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 elements, and these are 12, 10, 20, 12, 10, 15 and 2. These are the preset elements. That means I'm not asking the user to sort the elements. I have already given the program to sort something. Okay. So next it is just checking the size. Okay, remember size of function used to get size of the data. Okay, so it will be five elements, so it will just return you 5. Okay, and again it is checking size of the data 0, means it's checking whether the first element is taking different name or not. So it just way to find the size of the whole array. Okay, after this, see, your main function is so clear here. You are not writing any printf function to print the element. You are not writing anything inside the main function to do anything. You are simply calling the function selection sort with the call by value. This portion is call by value. Okay, you are just calling the function, calling selection sort function, this sorting function with these two variables, data and size. Data means this is your input data. This is your input data and you provided the size. Okay, after that you just print sorted array in ascending order. Then you again called the function print array, this function. Okay, so this is again your call by value. See, your program has become so modular. So inside your main function is just 3-4 lines code. Okay, you just provided the input data, then you're just taking the size, you call the function selection sort, the control will go to this part. Okay, inside this selection part you have called another function swap, and this function is here. Okay, then after that you just call another function to print the array, and this will simply print your array. So if you run this program, it will giving you the sorted array in ascending order, because you have already fixed what should be the values and it is returning you the sorted value. Okay, see, your in main function is like so small. You are just calling function. You are creating or generating or designing a function for each and every task. You have created a function for selection sort, which will find the minimum array and will do the sorting, and inside that selection sort there will be a swapping involved. So for that you created another call and you call that swap function inside your selection sort. Okay, so after that for the printing also you separately created a function. If you don't create this, you can just write the same things inside your main function. Okay, so here it is calling by value, but inside the selection sort part it's just using calling by reference. Got the difference between call by reference and call by value? So here also no need to declare the function, because all the functions I'm going to use inside the in function has been defined before the in main function, right? Therefore, no declaration part involved. All the functions I'm going to use inside my main function are defined before the main function. So in a way it's good, right? If you write all the functions later, means every time you are using these functions you have to declare those. So it's better you write down all the programs, all the functions you are going to use beforehand, then you write main function. Then you no need to worry about declaring the function. You can just define the functions first, then you use them inside your main function. Okay, and I'm telling this one thing over and over again. Writing a program is completely up to you. Everyone has their own way of writing programs. Not necessarily this one is the correct one. You always have to this method and all. Everyone has a unique style of writing programs. If you don't feel comfortable with using functions, you can just write normal program like inside main function. You are doing everything. Okay, no way is wrong. Means even if you write everything inside main function, then also fine. You are using functions, then also fine. No one can cut your marks. But yeah, in exam, if I particularly write that you have to write this program with the help of functions, then obviously you have to use the functions. If I don't mention and I just ask you to write a program, bubble sort, or write program for selection sort, you can use any method. Up to you. You can use normal way like inside main function you are writing everything, it's fine. Even if you use function, it's fine. If I don't particularly mention, just simply write a program for selection sort or bubble sort. You can write in any way. Okay, but if I mention particularly that write a program for bubble sort using functions, then you have to make sure that you are using functions. Okay, always read your questions properly. Got it? So I'm going to give you the programs for both bubble sort and selection sort. So your task will be to do the program for insertion sort, both in normal way and using the functions. Okay. In selection sort, what we do? Sorry, insertion sort. What's the concept of insertion sort? Anyone, what is the concept of insertion sort? How you perform insertion sort? The concept? To list data. No, I'm not asking what's the purpose. I'm asking how you perform insertion sort. Just tell me the concept in 1 to 2 lines. কেনেকে sort করা insertion sort যেনেকে bubble sorted compare করা two elements, then after first pass the highest element gets to the last position. In case of selection sort, find the minimum element first, then we keep comparing and keep it in the first position. So in insertion sort, what we do? It's going to end soon. Just stop.
ফাইনেল ভ্যালু তো শো করে নাকি
Huh?
ফাইনাল ভ্যালু
ফাইনেল ভ্যালু মানে
ম্যাম আমি যেটো ইনপুট দিও তার আউটমোস্ট ফাইনাল ভ্যালুটো করে নেব
এই যে প্রসেসটো কি ইনসারশন সর্ট মানে কি just think about your cards you just find the rightful value and place in the rightful place means you just first the same way there will be sorted part unsorted part then you just keep checking one element whether it is greater than the adjacent element or not. If it is greater then it is in the correct position. If it is smaller then you will again check with the next adjacent element, and if it is still smaller you will again compare with the next small element and so on. So for every element, it will directly go to its correct position. 'Okay, switch on your video before it gets cut. Twenty-seven students. কেইটামান কমিব মানে তাই so clear what is
Ma'am,
called
loading
huh
on হোৱা নাই মেম লোডিং হৈ আছে
আচ্ছা হ'ব so call by value call by reference function declaration function definition function calling সব clear
ইয়েস ম্যাম
বুজিছা এতিয়া বুজিবা তাৰপিছত বোলে এক্সাম টাইমত কিবা আছিলে পাহৰিলো তেনেকুৱা নহয় জানো ইংলিছ ক্লাছ এটাও হোৱা নাই ন লেবৰ
নাই মেম হোৱা নাই এনেই গ্ৰুপটো খুলি থৈ দিছে
আচ্ছা ইনফৰ্ম কৰিব লাগিব বাৰু okay I don't know what others are doing like Amandeep Anisha Minal Chintu Team Sina just ending the meeting okay thank you all if you have any confusion okay yeah do the task for insertion sort find both ways in normal way and also using function okay then just give the screenshots in your group okay thank you everyone if you have any
sorry about
confusion huh
insertion sort no
ah
about insertion sort
insertion sort তাৰে program দুটা লিখিবা আৰু যিকোনো confusion থাকিলে you can just text me it's fine okay thank you everyone